Dude, doesn't that rip?
You're an idiot.
No, you're an idiot.
Welcome back, alphas and omegas. Right?
Yeah. What does that phrase mean?
No betas allowed.
The alpha and the omega. What does that mean?
The alpha is probably the big dog. Omega is probably that dog's dad. I don't know.
Alpha, and then it's like beginning to the end of
I'm the
Greek
alpha and the omega.
alphabet.
I'm like judge,
that's like
jury.
God. Alpha and omega. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
welcome back, guys.
Okay, learning within a minute of the pod. That's what the pod's about. Learning.
I'm the alpha and the omega. Isn't that like it's like in a movie? Someone says that.
It's in the Bible a lot. Yeah.
Oh, well, it's also
most phrases are.
I think
in
it's in
movies
Silence of the
Bible.
Lambs.
Oh, maybe
He talks about being judge, jury, and executioner.
okay,
Maybe fact
sure.
check us if you're listening. Welcome back, guys. Goof and I had a fucking huge weekend.
Talk about learning. Alex became a Phish head. You
Yeah.
hate to see it. We saw Phish this weekend at Bethel Woods, folks. Saturday show.
Yeah.
Drago came into it with a negative attitude. The whole way
Yeah.
you're like, is this gonna be good?
Mhm.
Dead and Co wasn't very good. I don't know. Are they really good, guys?
They
The whole ride up there, he's like, I don't know. I don't know.
I made sure to keep my expectations low because I thought the Grateful Dead was going to knock me on my ass, and they didn't do that because they're all 85.
The Dead are
besides
good,
John
but
Mayer.
it's not musically. It can't compare to Phish. I think the Dead have better music, though.
Yeah,
honestly,
Phish has turned me.
Phish is just they're four musicians at the top of their game. It's kind of unbelievable.
That is unlike any show I've ever been. I'm so mad that I wasn't closer. That's something where I'm like, I'm gonna make sure next
We
time I
had
see them.
pretty good seats, but yeah,
I agree. Like, but I'm gonna make sure to be in the shit for that, dude. Because that's gotta really change.
I saw Drago does not. You don't really move at concerts. I noticed. I don't move a lot either, but you made me look like Fred Astaire up there. My God, I was just dancing compared to you.
Well,
I sway like this, and Alex was like,
I was calculating.
Nothing.
I was calculating.
you were calculating.
Dude, when I was at Vampire Weekend, I knew all the songs. I was like, da, 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 da.
Oh, okay.
But this one, I was kind of, I wasn't calculating. I was digesting.
Okay.
I was.
I'm not saying you can enjoy music however you want. It made me
Calibrating.
feel like I was like a limber ballet dancer compared to
dude.
you.
I just needed to, I was very. I don't know. When I'm taking it in like that.
You were thinking you were pretty high too. He kept hitting the joint, folks. I got to give him credit. Kept going around. Alex never said no.
Yeah, weed at that show is necessary. Sometimes the weed can just take your thoughts into some fucking crazy places. It's such an odd thing when the music's blasting like that.
Drago discovers weed makes music good at age 33.
It is unreal,
Of course,
dude. That
yeah.
was fucking crazy.
But I think the concert, we don't really need to talk about the concert too much. Everything else, though, the boys committed some terrible L's. We really fucked up with every logistical part of the trip in a way that made me wonder if I deserve to vote or be an adult.
we had setback after setback after setback.
So let's set the scene, folks. We stayed in Bethel is...
Well, first we got to talk getting there.
Getting there takes 4.5 hours. It's supposed to take 2.5 hours. Our dear friend Joe, great friend, he did miss a few clear turns on the way there.
One of the funniest people alive.
One of the funniest men. We won't even name his last name because we're saying he was a bad driver on the way there.
And
great guy.
Man, a couple missteps on Joe's part, dude. Holy
It just took so
shit.
long to get there. We get to this. I didn't realize Bethel Woods. It's in the middle of complete nowhere.
Yeah.
I thought that maybe there was a town 5 miles away. There's nothing within an hour of this venue.
Right.
And so we get an Airbnb a 10-minute drive away. We are under the impression, for reasons I don't quite fathom, that we could take Ubers there and back. I don't know why we thought that. I don't know.
Most places have Uber.
It's in the middle of legitimately nowhere. The closest town is like 1,000 people and it's 15 miles away. And we're like, oh, there'll be tons of Ubers there. We're so Brooklyn kids now. We're like, there's going to be... We did get an Uber there, but it was a 27-minute wait, which should have queued us in. And Drago committed a terrible faux pas. We wait 27 minutes for this Uber to get there. The Uber comes to the middle of nowhere. Uber pulls up. Second the Uber gets there, Drago's like, I gotta go to the bathroom.
I gotta pee.
And me and the other two guys get in the Uber. This Russian guy is furious.
Yeah.
He's like, I wait 22 minutes. What the fuck? We're going to the bathroom? What the? He's got to go pee. When you came out, I was like, this the guy who had to go pee pee?
Pee-pee.
Pee pee. He was pissed at you.
Geoff, you learned a lot about my pee-pee this
was
weekend.
so fucking mad. Rightfully so. A faux pas.
My bladder is just so
yeah, this is something I
shitty.
didn't know about Drago. Every 60 minutes, he has to piss.
Uh-huh.
That's also why it took us so long to get there. Every 60 minutes, Drago's like, anyone have to go to the bathroom? Hoping one of us had to.
You
And then
guys
he'd have
aren't hydrated.
No, you're.
Everyone's skin in that car looked terrible. Why? Not enough water.
I mean, I wet the bed till I was 16. I think I know my bladder's weak. That's why I'm dehydrated.
Matt Kennedy, Joe, you guys got to water up.
Okay, sure, but you can't stop the car. In a 3-hour drive, you get one bathroom break. Drago get 3.
2.
Yeah, but you wanted one more.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's not okay. It's just not okay the way he
I mean
acted.
that's what I do on planes though. I have to take window. It's my thing. Love window. And I always go to the bathroom.
And we went over this. That's a crime.
Yeah.
To wake up, you only get one get up during a flight. That's it. And yeah, you can't.
I
do
give
more
myself
than
2
that.
though.
Oh, okay.
Right, that's what I've been
Alex
doing.
has changed morality.
I
He
give
gives
myself
himself
2.
I
and-
get 1 murder. Yeah, I give myself 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah, you get to kick 1 dog. It's a whole thing. I didn't think about that, dude. Like it is kind of when you're around your friends and you're that guy, you're like, God, I'm this
The guy who's got the weak bladder. You
Yeah.
don't want to be the guy who's got to piss every fucking 30 minutes.
And that was me, folks.
I purposely don't drink water because I am that guy. I know. I know. I've dehydrated myself my entire life because I'm sick of going to the bathroom.
No, that makes sense. I should have looked out for it. Okay,
Yeah.
so then we take
Learn
the
a
Uber
little
there.
bit, yeah.
And also it took so long to
Bethel
get in.
is a bad venue. It's poor logistics. There's only one entrance, so it took like an hour to get in. We missed the first 2 songs. Drago has 2 beers confiscated at the entrance. He looked like a fool.
Looked like a fool. You told me I can just bring them in.
I did think they would let you bring them in. They
Why
just
wouldn't-
immediately confiscated them, and you
Why
looked like
wouldn't
such
they?
a narc.
Why wouldn't they?
You're the
Everything
only
fine.
guy who had anything taken from him the whole time we were watching.
And it was very civil too. The
He
guy
walked
just
right through. The guy's like, "Give me the beers."
I was like, okay.
Okay, cool.
It is
cool.
a weird feeling to have a grown man take beer from you.
Yeah,
It's
you
weird.
did look like a complete. You were like getting shook down by the bully in the lunchroom for your lunch money.
I got
Yeah.
caught stealing at lunch once. It's mortifying. Bosco sticks.
Oh, Bosco. Those are like the cheese breadsticks.
Yeah.
Look, how old were you?
I
Stealing.
was probably 16.
Wow, you thought because you were all state you could steal Bosco sticks.
I was just extra hungry. I was like, fuck this shit. I'm stealing these Bosco sticks. And
Have you never stolen from other places in your life? You don't steal from like Whole Foods or
Not often.
really?
I hate stealing.
Wow, I think stealing is one of the most morally defensible things.
I just
I think
hate
it's fine.
I hate like I have a weird thing with authority. I like very much respect authority.
Huh? Cop dad. I wouldn't know why. I can't imagine why that would be.
Yeah, weirdly.
Yeah, and it's very weird.
My grandpa was a priest, dad was a cop, and I treat authority like they're like my parents every time. Anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, you could be ticketing me into a show. You could be the cashier. You are for some
You
reason.
probably told the guy, "Oh, I got a beer in my pocket, by the way."
Yeah, I was
By
like,
the way, IPA in my right
by the way,
pocket.
sir, breaking the law right now. Turn myself in.
You don't steal at self checkout.
Yeah, sir. This is a quick 1082 over here. You're gonna have to. You can cuff me if you want.
Yeah, you're gonna. I got heroin in my veins right now. You're gonna want to check me. Oh my god! If you got pulled over drunk driving, you'd cave immediately. I had
Dude.
5 margaritas, 3 shots over 4 hours. I'm drunk. Cuff me.
Cuff me up, daddy.
Put me in there.
I've had dreams about drunk driving. That's how much I fear it. I've had dreams where I've been caught drunk driving.
That was the bad thing. We either had to drive and probably drive a little drunk to the venue. I could have maybe stayed sober, but I would have been high off my ass.
It would have been terrifying.
It would have been terrifying. I could have done it. I would have been very high, but I didn't really drink at the show. I had 1 beer.
Dude,
But-
that would have been awful.
But okay, we go to the show. Show's great. Phish, amazing. 3.5-hour concert. And after the show, our 2 friends are tripping balls on mushrooms. They couldn't care less how we get home or if we
they
get
don't know
home.
where we are.
They're just
where we're
following
going.
us and giggling. Me and Drago are just high, but we're still there.
Yeah.
And we start realizing that we didn't really think this through.
No.
We start realizing that there are no Ubers in Bethel, New York.
No.
Nearest city is 35, 40 miles away.
Right.
There is no one coming to get us.
Nope.
We realized there's no taxis, there's no buses. Our Airbnb's 7-8 miles away.
Yeah.
And we start I was panicking.
Me and you both definitely started feeling it.
In the first 20 minutes, we're looking for Uber, nothing's showing up. I'm like, oh, maybe when everyone leaves, it'll turn out. After 30, 40 minutes of looking for an Uber, nothing's showing up. Definitely, I started to absolutely panic. And our friends are buying nitrous balloons. They're fucking sucking up. They're going to the nitrous mafia.
Well, we have no idea where we're going. We have no idea how to get out.
Matt's like, you want to hit the joint? I think for the first time in my life, I said no. I was like, I cannot get higher right now. I thought we were going to have to sleep in a cornfield.
No, seriously.
We were like, we were in this little lot that they claimed was the rideshare lot, but there were no Ubers coming.
No.
There was like 15 other people panicking like us, and no one had any solution. And then out of nowhere, honestly, made me believe in God a little bit.
Guardian angel.
Out of nowhere, a van pulls up, and this couple gets in, and then they're like, anyone going to Callicoon? That's like the name of the little village.
Happened to be a town that we were going.
Happened to be the address of the Airbnb we're going. We're like, oh, fuck yeah, we'll get in the Uber. Or what? It wasn't even an Uber. It was like a medical assist van that
moonlights as like a limousine service.
It was like this very hippie 20-year-old woman who like did it for fun. She's like, I just kind of want. Her dad owned
the company.
And he was basically like, hey, go to the Phish concert, make me $50. Basically, is what it sounded like.
We couldn't believe that this is what was happening.
And she was a kind of a baddie lady.
And Gress, what did you say?
She's kind of a baddie lady.
Like she was hot?
No, baddie means like kind of crazy.
Oh,
she was aggressively weird.
I thought you were like, and she was a baddie.
No, oh, baddie. No, not a baddie. I don't even know what she looked like, but she was very... she had done ayahuasca a few times, is what I would say. She wasn't quite there.
She was also just like a mountain folk, like a little screw loosey.
Yeah.
Also, Geoff, when you get into the back of a car, like you know how like when they automatically recline a seat.
Yeah.
Geoff hit the guy in the head so hard that he got angry with Geoff.
Immediately, I bring the seat back. The guy gets just fucking hit.
You like clocked this guy with the seat.
And here's the thing, folks. We get in the car. We start going. We realize quickly that there is a town of Callicoon and a village of Callicoon.
Yeah.
They are very different things. They're over 20 miles away from each other. And this couple's quite angry that they have now agreed to get in a car with people who aren't going anywhere near where they're going.
And two of them are tripping hard.
And our friend Matt and Joe are just saying nonsense in the back, just like loudly talking about like assassinating Donald Trump and stuff. And then this couple's like, they're a pretty normie couple. They weren't on drugs, I don't think.
Certainly.
They probably just had like a couple beers and went to the show.
They look like they met in grad school.
Yeah, they looked like this is their one time they maybe get a little wild during the year. They maybe took a puff from a joint at the beginning of the show.
Right.
And we're driving through we're in the Catskill Mountains. It's like, I didn't realize it's very mountainous and remote. These roads are winding. There's no guardrails. There's no side of the road. It's immediately off a hill. And this woman's driving in a minivan, 65 miles an hour on these sheer turns. The van is, the wheels are lifting off the ground.
Definitely.
The wheels were, it was absolutely going on its side.
Yeah.
And after about 10 of these, she's like, I hope you guys don't get car sick.
Yeah.
And like, I do.
Definitely.
And we eventually got her to drive like a normal human. I was like, please don't do that.
Please slow down. We had to say, please slow down.
I had to be such a little bitch. I was like, please slow down. No.
I also had to tell her like, hey, you got to slow down. Like that was a tight turn. She's like, okay, no worries. For you out of towners, like I'll slow down over.
And she was also kind of just taking us on. She didn't really know where she was going
at all.
Had no idea where she was going because none of our phones really worked. We could barely get the directions.
So
she was just like, I think it's by CR 17B.
Yeah, 17B.
And it took us so long.
So we drop off this couple.
Well, no, we didn't even get to that. We're going down the main road, and then there's a massive accident in front of us.
Oh.
There's smoke and fire everywhere.
Yeah.
Some truck had smashed a power line, which we'll play into the story later. And then we have to take a side road that doesn't even have a name and try to figure our way there.
Yes. So
Drago is the guide.
My phone caught service for like 2 minutes, which allowed like my maps to like reload, so I knew where we were. Just
but we
on
couldn't
my,
get directions. He had to guide us through the mountain roads.
My phone was showing the map and the roads, but it wasn't logged on anymore. But I knew where, but it like showed where we were. So I literally was telling this woman, looking at my phone that had no more service, like, you have to turn around and take this other road all the way back a mile. And she's like, I don't know about that. I've never taken that road. And I'm like, just do this, please. Like right now. And
you
like,
got kind of stern with her because she was like, nah, I grew up here. I think I know where I'm going.
I was like, we're doing this.
You were correct.
If there's anything I'm good at, it's talking down to a woman, guys. Okay.
You were in your element.
If there's anything that I've got experience in.
Talking down to a 20-year-old woman.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was like, I'm winning this. So it's like, so we drove back up, and then like, I'm literally being like, you have to take this left here. You have to take this left right here. Our phones, if we don't have our, I'm thinking about like, if this was like 2002,
there would be no way we could have ever made it back. If this
was 2015, it would have been.
We couldn't have done it. We would have been dead. We would have slept in a field. Our friends would have been just giggling all night on nitrous oxide.
You know,
me and you would have been sleeping in the muddy field.
Yeah, I mean, it was absolutely insane. So then I tell her like where to go, how to drop this couple off. And then we get into like this town area where they have a hotel. And I think our friends literally, there was a bar that's open.
There was an open bar that she said sold frozen pizzas. So this is all that's been happening. Our friends said this is what they were talking about. They were just yelling about, we need to get to Walmart. Oh, yeah. They just kept saying, where's the nearest Walmart? We need to buy food. Because this is what we forgot to say. We did not buy any food or beer before we went to our Airbnb. Our Airbnb was completely empty.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, there'll be food after the show. Why? I don't know why we thought that. Again, we live in Brooklyn. We think there's stuff everywhere all the time.
Right.
I don't know what my brain was thinking exactly. So there was nothing waiting for us.
Right.
And they hadn't eaten at the show.
They did
not. So
not.
they were going to bed hungry. And they were obsessed with finding a Burger King or a Walmart for whatever reason.
Or Taco Bell.
And this lady's like, well, there's a Walmart 30 miles away. You could go back to your Airbnb, get a car, and then you could probably Uber someone at the Walmart. There's always people who need a ride.
Oh my God.
If you want to make extra money.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, you could be your little side hustle.
And then Joe and Matt like actually were figuring out how they were going to do that when we got home.
But then we got to this town and there was a bar open that sold frozen pizzas, and we almost got out of the Uber and we're like, oh, we'll get another Uber from here to the Airbnb. We
kind of snapped out of it for a second.
We would have had to beg a bartender to drive us home.
I can't believe we almost got out of the car. So we dropped this couple off, and then they commit one of the ultimate crimes.
Yes, the couple committed a terrible faux pas.
As we're driving towards the town, we're talking about rates, and the lady was like, oh, this would just be like $100 for the ride. And we thought it would be $100 for us and $100 for this couple.
And I still thought that was fair because this woman saved our life.
This woman was our only chance at sleeping that night. Yeah, essentially. And so the couple gets out, and the woman's like, "How's $40?" And that's what she meant. She meant like
she did mean 100 for 5 people. Yeah,
the driver meant 100 total. So the woman goes, "How's 40?" And she goes, and the driver goes, "Great. Like anything you want to tip?" And the woman goes, "No." No,
I thought that was insane. Also, this couple hadn't ordered the Uber. It was just lucky that this woman showed up. They didn't actually order her. No, they had fucked it up. That's what the driver kept babbling about. It didn't quite make sense, but they hadn't ordered it. It was just lucky that they got it. So
she just pulled up and was like, does anyone need a ride?
And this couple just didn't tip this woman. She saved these normies would have been killed in the fields. We could have at least hung. Yeah. These were like guys, they worked in an office during the week. They were out of depth.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the way you smacked that guy with the back seat was crazy.
I think that was classist warfare right there. I think that was good.
That was the hardest I can imagine you hitting someone.
I really conked the guy with the metal end of the seat.
And you were also like, we were also like excited to get in. Like, I don't think you clocked.
I don't even think I apologized. I mean, we got saved by God. There was no other. So we eventually make it. It took us an hour and a half, hour 45 to get back to our Airbnb. That was a 12-minute drive away from the venue.
Still, by the way, we're in town, and like my phone reloads again and gets service again for like 2 more minutes. And the second we leave town, no more service.
But we had enough.
I had the map. Like, that was my first time in my life using a map.
What?
Dude, think about it.
What are you talking about?
That was my first time
You
using a
never
map.
had to do that as a kid? Look at the atlas on a family vacation or whatever.
My
in the
older
back?
my older brother would do that.
Oh, I
or
was
my
always
mom or dad.
I was always the map guy, of course.
I was chilling.
You were in the back. Yeah, what were you doing on a car ride? You weren't listening to a book or anything. You weren't reading.
I think by the time I was like 8 or 9, I would figure out a way to set up like video games in the back.
Oh, okay.
I'd get like a little
Game
TV.
Boy or something.
Definitely had my Game Boy with me.
Oh my God, of course.
I was gaming.
Course.
I was gaming hard.
But we forgot the big creme de la creme of the night, folks. We get back to our Airbnb. We get inside. This is insane. This is about 1:30, 1:45 in the morning.
She finally drops us off.
It took us an hour and 45 minutes to get back. The power is out. There is no electricity in the Airbnb. The water works for like an hour and then is gone. We're in a completely dark cabin in the middle of the woods. There's 2 houses next to us and that's it.
Legitimately terrifying stuff.
There's no store. And we got a Zipcar and our friend's phone was dead. We couldn't open the car. We couldn't charge his phone. So me and Drago are freaking out. Like I was having a bit of a panic attack, honestly. We just fall asleep. We're like, the only way to solve this is sleep.
That's what was so funny to me is that we're just like panicking. Like we're like, Joe was like, let me call the Airbnb host. And then we were talking about we were thinking about calling Airbnb like the company.
Yeah, and we were trying to find the fuse box to see if we
were
could.
Trying to find the fuse box
or something. We couldn't find it.
And it was 2 a.m. and I was like, and I remember you were like pacing, and I was like, you're like, what do we do? And I was like, what? Let's just like go to bed and like let's just sleep. And you go, and you're like, oh okay. Like,
that was a good idea. You're like, go to bed.
Let's just sleep, and we'll wake up and we'll figure it all out. Because like when it's.
And Joe and Matt didn't care. They were like, let's go on the porch. They kept smoking weed.
They just did not care.
And Drago's like, why don't they care? And I was like, they're on mushrooms, man. They don't give a fucking shit what's going on right now.
How do they not? How is this not registering to them? They were so fucked up. And they talked on the porch until like 5 a.m.
Yeah, they just kept loudly talking. I fell asleep, but they were just loudly giggling and laughing. I couldn't giggle or laugh. I was so stressed out by everything.
And you were
because we both had our phones were half dead. We had to keep them alive. Yeah. I went airplane mode. We didn't get service either, even at the Airbnb.
Exactly.
We were just in the off the grid. It made you realize this is a great test of how quickly we would die if the electricity went out. Yeah. We were about to commit suicide. There was a pond behind the Airbnb. We were minutes away from jumping
head first.
We were minutes away from drowning each other.
Dude, it was intense. I gotta say, man, like if that show wasn't one of the best shows I've ever seen, Geoff knows this. I can get a little dramatic sometimes. I would have been throwing a little bit of a fit.
If I had seen like a Matchbox 20 level concert or something like a mid show, that would have been one of the worst nights of my life.
Geoff, you're taking me out to the fucking woods. What the fuck is this? But
it's a testament to how good Phish was.
The show was so good. I was like, I gotta survive to tell people about how awesome this was.
And then we found out the reason the power went out is because of the accident we saw earlier. Some truck barreled into a power line, took out the power for the entire county and died. I later learned, I think I looked it up.
Oh my God.
It seemed like 1 or 2 people died in the accident.
Holy shit.
It's a massive accident. Mere minutes ahead of us on the road.
I also think, I wonder this, I think the trip itself, at least the second half of the trip, wasn't that like, quote, like annoying or like, wasn't that like discomforting because we were so worried. We were legitimately worried about survival that it was like past annoying.
What second part of the journey?
Or like the post show.
Oh,
like like how you go on a trip and it was like getting there was annoying because of like the misturns. But I think
the traffic and stuff.
And the traffic and stuff. But I think like because there was multiple times where we were like, "Fuck, are we gonna be okay?" It was past the point of like, this isn't fun. Like you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I was having fun. I was very high. I was white knuckling it when she was driving. I was legitimately scared.
Exactly.
This is what I do when I'm scared. I started a timer on my phone and I just watched the timer go, just to know that time is passing. That's what I do when I'm scared. I just let a timer go. I was like, oh, I just gotta live till minute 4. Just gotta live till 5 minutes.
It was so far past annoying. when something is terrifying, you don't even have time to be like, oh, this trip sucks, dude.
I bet that woman was tripping on mushrooms too. I wouldn't be shocked if she was like on some
she was probably fucked up with her friends, and her dad was like, you got to pick up people at the Phish
because she is like, I was at the show last night.
Yeah.
There's no way she took a Saturday night off.
Right.
Then she also casually dropped that she just passed the bar exam, which I have to throw the cap of the year on.
Yeah.
There's no way this woman just passed the bar exam.
There's no chance.
way. She was so loopy. That was wild. The journey home wasn't as eventful, but boy, we woke up with no water or power, but
no
we
water,
survived.
no power. We got home in like 5 hours.
We figured it out, but my God.
I'll tell you, man, next time we do something like that, we're going to need to have
we didn't plan
things
that. We didn't quite know the level of nature we were getting into. If I would have known it was that far out, I would have planned.
It's got to be like one of us planning it. I think we gave some. I guess Joe did.
Joe did well planning, but yeah, we all fucked up. Well, actually, on the way back, the Zipcar broke. The Zipcar, the gas.
Oh my God!
I've never actually had this happen before. The gas gauge was completely broken. It said the car was about to be empty, so we're like, okay, let's go fill it up. The gas thing kept doing that thing where it would stop after like a quarter of a gallon.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that does happen sometimes when it's actually empty. It's like broken. I don't quite understand why. But I was like, oh, keep filling it up. And then Joe kept filling, and then eventually it just gurgled out. There's just gas bubbling out of the Prius.
Gas
all over.
got on our feet.
I thought we were going to explode. I thought like some guy was going to static and car explodes.
Yeah.
Gas was gurgling out of the car.
When Joe was like questioning whether you should turn the car on, I was like, oh shit. Like,
I was like, when he turned, I don't quite, obviously it actually wouldn't explode, but I was like, is the spark from the ignition going to blow up the gas?
Right.
We were being paranoid, of course, but still, I was very scared for about 45 seconds. I've never seen that happen. Gas just bubbling out of a car.
We kind of did. Like, there was like 3 or 4 moments we were like, fuck, like we're fucked.
I felt like a 17-year-old again going on a road trip. I was like,
why are we
were
so
just
helpless?
committing the mistakes I made 20 years ago in my life. I was like,
yeah,
why would we not buy beer and food at some point on the 5-hour drive?
Well, you do. It was your call.
It was my call not to do it. Yeah, I was like, oh, there'll be a place later, and that was incredibly stupid. I can admit that. First L of my entire life, folks.
The pod is about learning, guys.
It's all about learning.
Yeah.
When you're in the middle of absolute nowhere, buy a couple beers and some beef jerky at all times.
Yeah.
When you have an option, buy beef jerky. Get something to eat.
Yeah, we should. There's so many things we should have done.
Poor our 2 friends, they didn't eat for like 18 hours because there was no food.
I'll say this too, but mushrooms also curbs your appetite.
Mushrooms do curb your appetite, but still.
I'll say this too, dude. Like I'm never getting an Airbnb that's 8 miles from the fucking venue, dude. Like that's just something that's just never.
I thought it wouldn't be a
happen.
problem, but yeah, that's
just a huge mistake.
I didn't realize how in the middle of nowhere we were. Yeah,
we were out there.
I didn't know. It's a beautiful area though. Really beautiful. You were remarking the nature was pretty nice.
I had a couple of hits, a couple of pops, and I was like, damn, dude, I'm out here.
Here's the thing Drago does on trips, I noticed. You have to tell people you're having a good time. You have to, every like 30 minutes, he's like, this is really fun. This is really good. You guys, this is really, I'm really glad we did this, guys. Oh my God. This is really, you just have to, which is fine, but it's not how I operate.
Sometimes I can be a prisoner of the moment.
You gotta, oh, well, this was an incredible encapsulation of your anxiety. So after the end of the show, 3.5 hours, the show's about to end, and Drago goes, you think the Uber driver is still mad at me?
Oh yeah.
like he'd been thinking about it for 4 hours and finally was just like, could think no more.
Dude.
It's like, I have to come clean, guys. Does that Russian hate me? Also, this Russian guy had driven up from New York just to like Uber the Phish concert.
So that's why we also
I don't quite understand why he would do that.
Well, we also thought that people were going to be doing that. Like
he did tell us there should be Ubers, and he was wrong. He was wrong.
The Russian was wrong.
The Russian lied to us. He was like, there'll be Ubers, of course. He said he had to stop because he'd been driving for 12 hours.
Yeah.
which is crazy.
That's why he's probably so mad. We were probably his last ride.
We were one of his last rides.
He was like, what the fuck is this guy peeing right now?
I mean, he was so, this the guy that go pee-pee? He hated you. He thought you were such a little bitch.
Yeah.
Really? You had to go pee now? What the hell? Incredible time.
I think he
folks.
shouted at me. He's like, "Are you ready?" Like when I was walking around. I think he said something.
He did
snide.
say something. Yeah. He's like, "You ready now?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
ready now?"
Oh.
You were. That was a dick move.
It's crazy that trip ended up being like, I would still give that trip like a B+.
You said top 5 concert of your life.
Definitely.
Top 5 concert. I would say, it was better than the other 2 times I saw Phish. I think
Crazy
they
good.
were. I mean, the level of musicianship is unbelievable.
The fact that 4 dudes are doing that is
they're not doing
unreal.
any dubs. There's no. It's not like 8 guys. There's not like 4 guys in the shadows adding onto it or whatever.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I
I will
fully
say,
get
I
it.
think their lyrics are a little lacking. Their lyrics are pretty much nonsense.
Yeah.
But they're a great band.
I used to think Phish was so lame. I used to think he
I
was
think
so
there's a
lame.
lot of the culture around it is fairly lame. Some of the people in the crowd were some of the greatest losers I've ever seen. There's so many white men with dreadlocks. It's like, how is this still happening?
Geoff got recognized about 4 or 5 times.
There were a few. There were a few of Osmus Nation there. Yeah. And then a couple people recognized me, and our friend Joe goes, "Man, your fans don't make a lot of money, do they?" There was some rough looking people who knew me, but I respect you and I love you.
No, dude, that was cool as hell to see. It was a fucking, honestly, man, I can't believe, with all things said, really good time.
Really good time. We will do better
Honestly,
next time on our road trip.
Dude, when you do a trip, it's got to be the right crew, though. You think
It was
about
a great
that.
crew.
If we throw one bad egg in there,
If there would have been one person who couldn't take the heat,
yeah,
like we stayed pretty cool even though we were anxious, and those 2 were on a different planet entirely.
Yeah.
If there had been someone who was freaking out, it would have been terrible.
right?
Or like someone had like a bit of a Karen in them.
Sure.
They were like screaming at the Airbnb person.
Or if somebody like went off like on Joe for missing the turns or something like that. That would have made
But
things.
we were also.
uncomfortable.
I mean, when I'm in vacation mode, nothing can really get me too much.
right.
Nothing except for white knuckling on those turns. That my fear of mortality came out for about 5 or 10 minutes.
That really bummed me out. Bummed me out.
That bummed you out. Okay, interesting reaction. Well, folks, that's the story of our weekend. Wow, that was like 35 minutes. Jesus. Okay.
We're gonna do some listener
I can't-
questions while we.
If you ever, let us know if you guys saw Phish too. I think a couple of people were definitely at those shows. Let us know what you think.
Let us know, guys. Thanks for listening to that.
Apparently,
little,
they're playing the best they ever had. I'm not that into the lore, but people are saying they're at the top of their game right now. So
Yeah. No, that was awesome. It was a good time.
I'd say they're the second best live band I've seen to Ween. I would say Ween's #1 still.
Yeah,
It's a different kind of thing, but they're both amazing.
It's a different experience when like you're seeing a band where you know all the songs and everything like that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but that was
I don't
like,
really know Phish songs at all. Really, I knew like 2 of the songs,
and that's
we
what's
heard.
so crazy is I knew probably 3 or 4 Phish songs, and then the fact that I was just blown away pretty much every second of the show. Like,
You know what I will say? I think their encore kind of sucked.
Yeah,
I thought the show was amazing. Then they picked this bizarre song about they just kept saying "In the Velvet Sea" over and over again. I thought it was kind of a lame song.
I think I was having my tendies during that encore.
Drago
Dude,
got his chicken.
I went and
tenders.
got tenders and fries, and like when you're blasted, like when you're just so high, and when food just is elevated to Michelin star rating, it was just like it was
I love you
so good.
discovering high school.
Dude.
When you smoke weed, food become pretty damn good.
Dude, I just
don't
did.
it?
I mean, I was locked in
You
high
got-
school. And
I
college.
mean, yeah.
High school and college, dude.
Yeah,
I
you
was,
didn't get to live that stoner life. You never got to be a stoner, have you?
One time I smoked weed in college when I was like a junior, and I remember my roommate who's on the team smoked a good amount, and he left a joint. And I was like, let me try this bad boy. I texted him, I asked him, because like the team was away. They were playing Georgia Tech. I was my red shirt year.
Oh yeah,
so
you
I
had
was
to play.
so I didn't travel with them.
Right.
But I practiced and did everything else. But so they were away, and it's like a Saturday day, and I got like nothing to do. I just was like, fuck, I'm gonna smoke this J. I asked him, I do it. And we lived across the street from the dining hall.
Sure.
Dude, I must have ate like
Yeah, when you're not used to it, the munchies can really take over you. I don't really get munchies that much anymore.
Mott sticks, tendies, fries, a milkshake.
Oh God, you're such a
I
pig.
came back for like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and cookies.
it's living.
Yeah.
It's living. We were the Me and my friends were the #1 orderers of Topper Pizza in Madison, Wisconsin. They kept track of it, and we ordered the most of anyone in all of Madison, Wisconsin.
That's a lot of weed.
Every day we ordered Topper's Pizza.
Damn.
$2 cheese pizzas, folks. It's one of the greatest deals.
For a slice?
No, for a tire medium pizza. $2 cheese pizza.
What?
It was Gumby's, not Toppers. Gumby's, if you're in Madison lore. You know Gumby's. $2 pizza. We ordered 5 every single night. That's all we ate for probably 6 months of my life.
Whoa.
That was insane. Yeah.
There was a guy.
You need to have a stoner phase. Everyone should be a stoner for like 6 months. I've
did,
taken it too far now.
I did when I lived with Higgins.
Oh, you did have the phase every day, wake and bake,
So
smoking all that. It's just you have to do it.
We would smoke, so we'd like finish doing shows. This was like every night of the week. We'd finish doing shows, come back at like 10, throw on a West Coast game on NBA League Pass, smoke.
Oh, that's
and just
fun.
like eat a bunch of food and drink.
Oh God, those are the best days of your life.
That's
good.
Yeah, because
you're
like
done a gravity bong. Let's do a gravity bong on the pod once.
Okay, I'll do that.
That would be fun.
That's when because Tommy had a when he moved in with us for like 6 months.
Yeah,
he had one of those giant bongs.
Oh no, gravity bongs where you fill like the bathtub with water and then you cut a milk jug on the bottom. And then you put it in, it all fills with smoke, and then you suck up all the smoke.
What bong am I thinking of? That's like
you're thinking of a big bong. A gravity bong is different. It's where you use gravity to suck all the air, all the smoke like immediately goes into you because of suction. It's like you create a vacuum chamber. It's amazing.
I think I might have done something like that. Maybe not.
I mean, I don't know if I could do it anymore, but I'm down to try it.
I'm trying to
with
think
my buddy Alex.
God, I think Tommy had a really good name for his bong. I forget.
Everyone has a dumb name. Kurt Cobongo. Everyone has a fucking shit name like that.
I forget.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's move on to some questions, folks.
Yeah, let's take some of your guys' questions.
And how can they ask questions?
Join the motherfucking Patreon.
Oh my God.
I think Patreon's stealing money from us. We're not sure.
Patreon is a terrible app, but you should still join it. I don't think they compensate us fairly, but that's neither here nor there.
We keep getting new members that we're really excited for. That we're really excited
and then
about.
the number of dollars we get falls every month, even though we get 50 new patrons. It doesn't quite make any sense.
We're trying to figure out.
If anyone knows why this might be, let us know. But otherwise, keep joining. We're not in this for the money, folks. We just want you to get the best content you can.
Yes, we're trying to be the best comics we can. And
the Patreon's always where we talk the big shit. That's where it all goes down.
We talk too much shit on the Patreon that will come back to bite us.
The Patreon's where I'll actually review Joe Rogan's special one day.
Yeah,
we can't do that in the regular one.
Once this podcast pops, we will be canceled immediately.
We won't be canceled. We don't really say anything that offensive. It's more just we talk shit about our peers in a way we probably shouldn't. Not like people we're like friends with. They're people I do hate, but I still shouldn't say things.
Yeah, we won't be canceled. We'll be exiled.
We'll be exiled. We'll be ostracized from green rooms. Yeah. Everyone will be like, Geoff was pretty tolerant, but yeah, he just talk so much shit for no reason.
Yeah, this pod we're gonna pop a little later. We're gonna pop a little later, and it's gonna be a big pop. But then everyone's gonna find out that we hate everyone, and that's gonna be.
You know what? I stand by pretty much everything I've said about my fellow comedians.
Same. Sorry, guys.
I don't even like comedy, so I don't really feel a debt to it. I think stand-up comedy fucking sucks. I'm not like, oh my God, Steve Martin. I think stand-up as an art form is mostly trash.
Ooh.
Do you ever watch stand-up? I never watch stand-up comedy.
I don't like watching stand-up on TV as much.
I'll never watch a special unless someone tells me it's really bad, then I'm interested.
Can I tell you something, man? This is I'm afraid you're gonna skewer me for this.
Oh boy, here we go.
Do you know what I like to do sometimes, man?
Oh no.
I like to just go on my phone or like go on IG and like look around for like bar shows or whatever that like people maybe or maybe even shows that like that I don't know anyone on. And like I'll go on like a Tuesday, have a beer, and just watch an entire bar show.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know why.
Oh God.
I don't know why, dude. I just love being at like.
I don't even know if I'd accept free tickets to see Chris Rock. I have just no interest in it.
Well, Chris Rock.
I'd rather watch the guy play at Potbelly.
There's something about independent comedy in a way, and also like some club
there
comedy.
Is something
I like being in the back of a room and watching stand up.
If you're in the back of a room with your friends and you can like kind of whisper, "Oh, this guy fucking sucks. Oh, she's pretty good. Oh, that's kind of fun." But just watch the comedy itself means almost nothing to me. I enjoy performing it and writing it, but Lord, do I not care about it at all.
I am mostly hate watching.
I'm hate watching.
But it's
and I'm like, really pumped for this Joe Rogan special.
I used to do that a lot. Like on like Sunday nights, I used to just like take the train down to Zany's and just see who was ever.
You know what?
There.
I respect that. It's not who I am, but I respect that.
You gotta love the game sometimes.
Okay,
folks.
good for you. What? Yeah, you don't watch specials though, so you don't have any new ones you like or anything.
I mean,
I watched some of Chad Daniels. I do love Chad Daniels.
Do you know
That's
who's
a great
special I really
comedian.
liked? As Django Golds.
Oh, Django's hilarious.
Holy
yeah! If you guys want
shit.
someone funny, go follow Django. DJANGO Gold.
Yeah,
A great name. What an incredible name for the whitest man to ever live.
The special is called A Bag of Tricks.
And just his Instagram, he has such funny front-facing videos. He's very smart and has great satire.
He was a Colbert writer for like 6 years.
Yeah,
he's
like
one of the
a
best.
smart guy. He's a great guy. Let's get to these questions, Drago.
This is from Shane Gassman.
And we're back. Or from our sponsors. And folks, of course, this pod, it wouldn't be possible without a little brain food, a little drug fuel, a little natural. One of the natural intoxicants of our world. Ounces of Hope weed, folks.
One of the greats.
One of the great. A locally owned dispensary hydroponic dispensary in Memphis, Tennessee. They make some of the best weed, the best pre-rolls, the best edibles. They got CBD. They got THC drinks. They got it all. It's the only way, Drago. That's why he liked Phish. I don't think you even liked Phish. You just liked the Ounces of Hope you
The
smoked.
South will rise, and boy, was I high.
We
as
were
hell.
passing these joints around. Drago, they made Drago dance a little bit. That's how good the weed are. He was going like beep, boop, beep, boop, like
I
that.
know,
Yeah.
I know. I was all over the place because of these guys.
Ounces of Hope. The weed's so good, you'll forget there are 3 genocides going on in the world. That's how good Ounces of Hope weed is, folks.
Gives us hope.
Yeah, it gives us hope. Thank you. If you go to Ounces of Hope and you buy $50 or more and use the code ASMUS, ASMUS, you get a free joint with your order, folks. I don't know much better than that. Supporting local business and getting high. I think that's probably what capitalism should have been all along, you guys. Thank you, Ounces of Hope. Support them. Bye. We're back.
If podcasts had always been around, which historical figures Patreon are you subscribing to?
Whoa.
Great question by Shane.
Who is that? Shane Gassman. Well done, Shane. You get an extra free ticket for this amazing question. Remember, you get free tickets in the $10 tier.
Yes.
A lot of people are redeeming them for the shows in Fort Collins in New York. Could be you. It literally pays for itself almost immediately. Genghis Khan. I'd love to hear. You know how like people like to listen to Tuesday with Stories because like it was like Norman talking about his like sexual exploits on the road. I'd love to hear about Genghis Khan. No, just sacked Samarkand.
Just forcing
raped
women to have
45
sex.
women.
Yeah.
Wow. Khan at it again. Genghis.
Khan, you're such a dog.
You're such a dog, man. Oh my God. What's your body count? Yo, Khan, what's your body count?
Yeah,
6 million.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Khan just having like a red pill podcast.
Yeah. These women don't know what they want. I don't know why. That's why I think a Mongolian would talk like.
Yeah.
I don't know what a Mongolian
An Italian
accent.
from South Jersey.
I feel like a Mongolian's a cross between Russian and Chinese. They'd be probably in between. We know. I don't know. I can't do accents. That's not what I need to be riffing on the fly.
No.
Me no Russian. Me so Russian.
I guess that's pretty close.
That's about as good as we're going to get for Genghis Khan. But Genghis Khan always up there. I mean, the Beatles, if you had a podcast while like the Beatles were making their albums, like they're showing you the behind the scenes. Yeah, we're working on this new thing, Sergeant Pepper's. I don't know what's gonna happen with it.
Yeah,
like, that would have been sick to hear that.
I'm trying to think of a historical figure, but
you're just trying to think of a historical figure.
That's the question. Can I do like the 70s?
That's history, yeah. I just did the 60s, like
yeah. I guess that's not too far back.
It's 50 years ago. It's history.
Dude, what if MLK had a pod?
Do you think he was alive in the 70s?
No, in like the 60s.
Oh,
50s.
yeah. MLK would have been a good pod. I would have liked to see his turn after he went socialist. That would have been fun. Everyone forgets MLK was a socialist. That's why they shot him.
Ooh.
That's why they shot him. It wasn't because of the civil rights. He died 3 years after the Civil Rights Act was passed. They shot him because he was turning like communist. That's why they shot him. They didn't really care about the integration stuff. He was turning into like poor people need to rise up, and that's why they shot him.
I bet Dick Cavett would have had a good pod.
Wow, that's a pull.
I bet Dick Cavett would have had a sick pod, actually.
He has some great YouTube videos. Him like interviewing Muhammad Ali and stuff. He was like smart. He was the good
dude. If he had a Patreon where you could just talk, say whatever you wanted, I'm going to Dick Cavett pod for sure.
Yeah, maybe Darwin while he's coming up with evolution. Yeah. Why is that funny? Why is that funny?
Just Einstein just during his heyday.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah. Okay. I'm into it. Einstein believed in God. That's why I believe in God. Come on.
He believes in God.
He said there had to have been a God. He said he couldn't think of any way that the universe could exist without a creator.
Is that the theory of like because you thought of him that means he exists?
What?
Isn't that like a God? Isn't that like one of theology's defenses of why God is real. Like it's like if you think because that God had planted the idea of God in your head, right? Because you think of him, therefore he exists.
Okay, I've never heard that, but yeah, I think maybe kind of. He just said with his equations.
You've never heard of that before?
I hadn't heard of that. No.
Does it sound like I'm pulling out of my ass?
No, it sounds legit. Yeah, I don't really find theology all that interesting.
I didn't really articulate it that well.
No, you did a good job. You taught me something, and I hate that.
Yes,
and I hate that. What do we got else for questions? I think that was a good question.
Speaking of,
I'm going con though.
Yeah, the MLK shooting. Once somebody asked about your favorite, what conspiracy theories do you believe?
What was the exact? What's their name? Let's shout out who it was exactly who said this.
I would like to shout that out right now.
And if only he would have. Why don't you just screenshot them?
This is more like
it's dead air.
Yeah,
it's more like uninteresting moments.
Yeah,
Drago's just scrolling through the questions now.
A lot of questions
instead of just screenshot.
This is from Eb, EBB.
EBB, thank you.
What's a conspiracy theory you believe? Thank you, Eb. This is a good one.
I don't. The MLK thing isn't really. They've admitted it. That's pretty much in the open that the government killed MLK.
Yeah,
that's not really hidden. In terms of conspiracies, 9/11,
pretty convincing.
I don't think we did it. I think we knew it was going to happen, and they wanted a war to start, so they let it happen. I think they they knew exactly what was going to happen. I mean, they were warned many times by CIA agents, and they did nothing.
So you're not convinced of any of like the structural integrity of
No, that's bullshit. That makes no sense. Why would they do that when they could get the terrorists to do it and start an international war? They wouldn't. It wasn't hard to convince Al Qaeda to do it. They weren't like, oh, come on, Al Qaeda, bomb us. Like they wanted to do it already. They just let them do it. I mean, they went through so many loopholes to get in. It's impossible they could have done it without us knowing. These 12 Arabs go to America, all go to flight school, and only one of them gets kind of caught.
Right.
They were all on watch lists already, just like going all through America undetected. Yeah. They obviously knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, now it's there was a couple.
And the way they reacted so quickly, invading Iraq, Afghanistan, taking away all our rights, the Patriot Act, they knew it was coming.
Yeah. That must have I think weren't like brown people just being taken out of security lines for like 10 years after that, essentially?
Yeah, I mean, people were getting beat the fuck up too.
Yeah.
They were beating up Sikh people even though they're not Muslims just because they wore turbans.
Yeah.
Like Americans are so stupid. Like if you're gonna be a bigot, do the fucking research. It's a different turban. Look up the headgear.
Know your turbans.
Know your turbans. Come on. The Muslim turban's totally different.
The boys
than the
know their
turban.
turbans. Could that be the title of this episode?
Yeah, the boys know their turbans.
I don't think so.
No, it's got to be Phish for the algorithm. You got to have the boys see Phish.
Yeah.
Drago becomes a Phish head.
Yeah.
You'll go back.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like any chance. I mean, I've heard they're at MSG this over this Christmas break, like this New Year's.
Like New Year's or something. I'm not going to be here, but you want to go.
They're going to do 4 shows. I'm going to be in New York.
I think
Christmas.
Outdoors is the only way to really watch a concert. Once you go outdoors, it really can't be beat, in my opinion. But
I agree. But
MSG is fun.
Yeah, but it's nice to be a train ride away and not in Bethel.
No. God, that's gonna be the trip's gonna backfire. You got into Phish, but won't see them at their outdoor concerts.
I will be clear about
this trip will ruin you.
Every trip that you and I take that's like going to see shows or going to see bands from here on out, I'm gonna be a little bit of a pain in the ass about it. I'm gonna be like, where's the Airbnb? you know, what's
Yeah.
this food situation?
Yeah,
Like,
you were
what's
pretty
the-
hands off. You didn't say a single thing in the group chat till the day of the show.
I tried to
He
be low
never
key.
responded to a single thing.
I tried to be low key. I tried to be, hey, I'm a feather in the wind on this one.
Yeah, and you were
And-
so low key, you didn't even know where we were going.
Here's what happens when I take my foot off the or when I don't have my hands on the steering wheel, folks. We go off the rails.
Yeah.
You know?
It was insane. We didn't buy a couple 6-packs. I would have loved to get drunk in a dark house. It would have made life so
sitting
much
on the
better.
porch under the
I couldn't even look at
stars.
the stars. I was so stressed out. I had to go to bed.
Yeah.
I couldn't even enjoy the beautiful night sky. I was so stressed out.
Let's do a couple more questions.
Okay, another question.
Is there anything you left behind for comedy that you still miss? Jeffrey
Ooh,
Cotton.
Jeffrey Cotton. That's one that'll bring a tear to my eye later tonight when I think about it. What's something you left behind to pursue stand-up comedy?
Oh my God. I hate
Pretty
this.
much all of my friends, unfortunately. It was really, we're still friends, and I'm actually trying to be closer friends with my college people in the last year or two. But for the first 6 years, I mean, in order to really do this, you do have to give up everything else in your life. I didn't go to concerts for a decade. I didn't see a single concert for a decade.
Yeah.
I didn't go to sports games. I didn't go on vacations that weren't comedy related. I didn't go hiking. I didn't go camping. Me and my friends, that was the moment I knew me and my college friends were gonna go separate ways. We did bar trivia every week on Tuesday, and then I had to skip it to go to an open mic one time.
Yeah.
And that was the end. That was we're going different ways
now. I like rereading the question. Is there anything you left behind? It's just it's like most things got left behind.
I don't think
man.
people quite realize the grind of stand-up to get anywhere.
Yeah.
You really do have to work your fucking ass
because
off.
to be legitimately good, you know, and
it used to be harder before social media. But this is us being kind of old men, but it was different. You had to, you weren't going to blow up on Instagram until that happened 5 years ago.
You had to in a very grassroots way, you had to just little by little, you had to have the best set on every show for years.
You had to crush on every show in every city, everywhere, hundreds of times.
Yeah.
And you might get 3 fans each time you do it.
Yeah.
And you'd slowly develop a thing until you got a special or something.
Right. You legitimately.
Now you can make a career out of kind of nothing, but back then, but this is 12 years ago now.
No,
you
it is.
really had to work. I mean, I was doing 15, 20 mics a week in Chicago, and that wasn't even that much.
There is someone, I'm going to shit talk somebody, actually. This brings up,
don't say a name.
I'm going to earmark for this.
Okay,
yeah.
well,
earmark for this. I'm going to shit talk somebody in the Patreon.
Rain check.
Rain check a shit talk. Cause
okay.
that's also.
Okay, we're going to shit talk someone. I don't even know who it's going to. Do I know them?
No, it's just on the topic of this. But yeah,
okay.
Every meaningful relationship is essentially out the window.
I didn't really have to give up dating as much. That wasn't really a big loss for me. I was still a virgin for the first 4 or 5 years I did stand up. So that was actually a huge bonus for me.
Yeah.
I kind of distracted myself from pussy. I wrote jokes instead of pursuing women.
Right. I think so. There was a couple of years where I was chasing a little too much tail, I think that set me back a little, maybe.
Yeah, it probably did.
Maybe a little bit. But on the whole, I mean, I've said I remember this girl I was seeing who sent me a text, she was I was 26, and she was like, hey, this girl was so hot, by the way. Do you remember?
I know exactly what she looked like already.
And
a blonde with C's and
and
I'm talking grades, folks.
I mean, she texted me on a Wednesday night, hey, I got a bottle of wine. Can I drive over and how about we watch a movie?
Sure.
And I was just like, I got to do the comedy bar mic. I got to do the Coles open mic.
Yeah.
Why would you ask on a Wednesday?
Wednesday was the big night in Chicago. That was the big night open mics.
I wasn't even in my mind, I was I couldn't even, it wasn't even a second thought. It wasn't oh man, I should have this girl over. What am I?
I mean, yeah. But you made the right call in the end.
There was no.
You can suck and fuck anytime you want.
Because
folks.
all of those little That's what comedy is.
Because she would be like, "Oh, you can't miss one open mic," but like it all adds up. It's all like a grain of sand that ends up in the hourglass.
Exactly, because if you miss one this week, then you
it's
miss
easier to miss the next one
next week. And if you miss one a week, that's 52 days.
That's 52 sets a year you're
missing out on. And folks, that's not how you.
And this is why we're good at stand up, and all these TikTok comics aren't, because we did this.
Oh sure, yeah.
I did 5,000 sets before anyone knew who I was.
Right.
We bombed. We did the IO open mic every week on Monday. I did a mic at an improv theater every single Monday, and there was no one there, and we just bombed in a black box. We did it every fucking week.
It just was, you have to, dude. I
missed my friend I missed probably 3 friends' weddings because of stand up, and I deeply regret that. Actually, I think that was grind mode going a little too far.
No, it's just I'm missing a wedding in like 2 weeks.
Oh, really? Yeah, it sucks. It's a job that isn't tailored to do anything else because it's at night and that's when everyone else is off. So we kind of have to give up. You can only be friends with comics.
Right. And there's a couple friends who, like, there's a couple people who now, like, I have friends, I have a group of friends that take a golf trip every year.
Yeah.
And they just told me, like, my best friend of the group once was like, hey, like, we're not going to like include you on the invite every year, but if you ever want to come, you can.
Right.
But he's like, we're not going to like toss you in this group chat every year because we're going to assume you're not going to.
Yeah. My friends are the same. And they're like, they would love to see me, but it just never works out.
Yeah. They're like, it's like open invite, but it just like, we're not going to.
Now it's for cool things. Now it's like, oh, you're headlining. Before it was like, yeah, I'm doing a guest spot in Cincinnati this weekend. I'm losing $450. Sorry, I can't make your baby shower. I'm losing
crazy,
money.
Dude. So crazy.
Been entertaining drunk people for chicken tenders.
Taking your Saturday, I mean, like going up to do like the fucking, what was that club in Milwaukee on a Saturday to do a 6-minute set in Milwaukee?
Comedy Cafe?
Comedy Zone?
No, Comedy Cafe. Jokers.
The
worst club ever.
6 minutes to do Jokers. I mean, like unreal.
We used to drive up to Wausau, Wisconsin. It was 2.5 hours to do the Cuckoo's Nest open mic.
Dude, driving through blizzards.
We drove. Oh yeah. Oh my God.
Dude,
I almost died so many times on the road.
Coming back from a show or going to a show, caravanning with other cars you don't know because the blizzard is so bad and all of your lights just keep each other lit for going like 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Down whatever I-90. Just
so you can host at Snickers in Fort Wayne.
Host some fucking biker bar show. You know, you're just like,
we'd love you to do the Eagles Club in Cedarhurst, Wisconsin.
Is there anything you left behind, brother?
Our sanity.
Yeah. Dude.
You know what? Actually, I think we've come out of the clouds, and I actually feel great about comedy now. But the first 8 years, it was just comedy.
Well,
That's
now
all
you
we
look
did.
at the schedule, and is that you get to perform at a club. A lot of these places put you up. You know,
the good thing about social media is that you don't have to do the grind in the same way. That is like the only good thing.
Like
you can
you
don't have to you don't have to do the open mic thing. If you want to be good, you should, but you can make a career without doing that.
Well, because but it also does behoove you to like write more, which would be like if you spent, you have to balance it better. But if you have like a night in writing a lot instead of like, whereas like in grinding also had to deal with people just like seeing that you were out.
Yeah, you had to be seen
physically being out.
But now you can post a reel and you don't have to be seen at the show physically.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you're exactly.
Yeah. It's all different. But it ain't the way it used to be, kids. It ain't the way. And that's why comedy mostly sucks now.
One more question, or do you want to?
No, I think we gotta move to the Patreon. I've never done that. This is the first time I've ever ruined the fun.
I was just having a good old time.
Yeah, well, we gotta move to the Patreon. Wait, but Drago, what do you gotta plug though in the meantime? I love when you plug.
I know this is far out, but November 27th, Zany's headlining in Chicago.
We're
back. Blackout Wednesday, guys.
Oh,
night before Thanksgiving.
Wow. Automatic sellout, folks.
They gave me a good one.
Tickets.
Really
Are they on sale already?
That. No, they're not.
They're not on. It's great. They're not on sale yet.
I'm gonna let you guys know when that is.
They're not on sale yet on the website. He doesn't have, folks. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, I'll plug that soon.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm essentially. But like next couple weeks, I'm with Geoff. He'll announce those.
Yeah,
Charleston, South South Carolina, September 19th.
What are you doing in Charleston?
I'm doing a theater with Lucas.
Damn,
Yeah.
Charleston's sick.
I'm
Great
excited about
town.
that. I think my ex lives there. Hope she's around.
Georgia lives there?
Well, her family's from there. I hope I like run into her on the
You
street.
gonna throw a DM?
No, I want something serendipitous.
Oh God! I just want something magical.
I want to run into her mom, and her mom's, says something like, "You should call her," and I'm like,
She thinks of you every day.
she talks about you
I
all the
heard her
time.
say your name in her sleep the other night.
Yeah, in reality, she's like dating a veterinarian for the last 2 years.
Is she really?
I don't know.
Oh, didn't you pork her a year ago? Didn't you guys meet up?
Pork
You
is
made love.
not what I would call it.
You made love. You brought back some tears.
Yeah,
Talking about
man.
what he gave up for comedy, folks. He gave up one of the most electric women I've ever met.
I still can't believe this. Our crew is just not impressed by
We
her.
were not impressed by her. You could have done better, and you have since.
Wait till she comes back.
No, that
We'll
would
be
be
back.
so bad. If you brought her back into your life, the pod would be over. I couldn't judge you. Like, we
You
actually
also
will
said
talk,
this is- yeah,
actually, we'll talk about this. There's
Patreon.
been some
Patreon.
developments with the Zionist Drago went on a date with.
We can't.
We won't
okay.
say name. I'm not saying names, but if you know anything about New York comedy, you know who it is. It's Sarah Silverman. We're gonna bring it up in the Patreon, folks. Shows I have coming up. I got Wichita, Kansas. Tickets are looking grim, folks. Tickets are selling pretty well for all the other shows this fall. Wichita could be an ego. It could burst my ego. So tell anyone you know who lives in Wichita that I'm coming. We got Fort Collins, a little pop-up show in Manhattan that's pretty much sold out, but there's a couple of tickets left.
Let's go.
We got Fargo, Sioux Falls, Pittsburgh, Edmonton, Calgary, Morgantown, Madison, Wisconsin. The tour is ramping up in about 2 or 3 weeks, folks. Getting ready for the special taping in November.
I'll be
It's
in
looking
Madison
like.
too, folks.
It'll
That's
be in
gonna
Madison.
sick.
You're also in Fargo and Sioux Falls and Fort Collins. Pretty much everything I just named.
Let's go.
He didn't know that. He didn't know that.
And I'm
I was
there.
going to invite you to Edmonton, but I assumed you didn't have a passport.
I have a passport.
I assumed you didn't have one for some reason.
but the Canadians can miss me with
I already
that.
got Henry Sir might feature for me.
Oh, that's
Canadian
he's the man.
legend. Yeah, but that's been our time, folks. This has been episode 133 of You're an Idiot. 53 episodes, N-word free. I mean, I like to see Rogan do it. I'd like to see him come close to that, folks. I doubt he could. 47 more till we let our freedom fly in Arkansas, folks.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. Less than a year left till we show the libtards what freedom really sounds like. Come on, folks. You've been an idiot for listening. Good night and good luck. Bye. Dude, doesn't that rip?
You're an idiot.
No, you're an idiot.